Hi guys, so today we're checking out the infotainment 8.4-inch screen GPS navigation Uconnect upgrade fitting all 2018 and newer JL Wranglers. So if you're not a fan of the factory head unit, you're looking for something that's going to add a more modern touch to the interior of your JL while also offering a little bit more as far as features are concerned, this is going to be a great choice to take a look into. Now this is really going to be for somebody who is a fan of the Uconnect system and is a fan of more or less the factory design when it comes to the actual technology aspect. Now this is obviously going to boast a very large display, that 8.4-inch screen display, which again is going to add a more modern feel, but it's going to keep it relatively simple and towards the factory or towards Mopar when it comes to the actual technology and the software in the device. Now this is going to come with a number of different features, and it's also going to carry over a lot of those factory features that you are able to utilize out of your factory system, including steering wheel controls, climate control, and your backup camera. Now what I do really like about this is that this is also compatible with Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay. So if you had the lower trim model head unit, this will now allow for that, giving you an upgrade there. Not to mention, this is just going to make it very user-friendly and very hands-free when it comes to utilizing your phone, your music, or any other multimedias while driving. Now with that being said, this is going to come in at roughly $1,600. This is definitely, again, going to boast OEM quality with the OEM style design. Not to mention, this is also going to come with this bezel that just looks like it came out of the factory. So overall, it is going to mesh very well, and you can tell that this kind of has an HD display, which again is just going to add to the more modern appearance inside your cab area. Now in comparison to some other choices, what I really like about this system is the fact that it is so simple to install. Now this is just going to be plug and play, considering that this is a factory style head unit. It's just going to have the upgrade as far as the navigation and the display is concerned. Some other choices are not going to have that. They're going to have multiple attachments on the back, and they are usually just going to be a little bit more integrated for the ability to customize them. Now if you're a fan of customizing your head unit and your audio settings and so forth, that's definitely something that you'll want to take a look into. But if you're not necessarily a fan of that, if you're looking to keep it simple with kind of an OEM look, you're just looking for an upgrade in a couple of different departments, then this is going to be right up your alley. Not to mention, this again is going to keep it pretty simple. Some of those other choices are going to have some extra bells and whistles, including multiple apps and a couple of different features. So once you turn your Jeep on, you'll be greeted by the Jeep screen. You'll have to accept the disclaimer at the front, and then you'll be brought to your main screen here. Now this overall is going to mimic the factory style display and the factory style technology, and you'll be able to access all of your factory features here. Now this is the media tab, so you'll be able to access your AM, FM radio, Sirius if it's included, and you also will be able to open up a map in this screen. Now you'll have all of your basic controls down here and your audio controls over on the side for your balance, fade, equalizer, and your adjusted volume. Now you'll also be able to access your volume and everything that you would be able to access on your steering wheel control as well on the buttons on the side. Now if we go into climate control, this is going to be able to control our climate. So this will actually move up and down with the dials here. As you can tell, I just turned it off, and you'll be able to access all of your features in here, and you will be able to adjust it in here and not necessarily have to adjust the actual manual control unit that you see down at the bottom. Now we move into the next tab. This is going to be our navigation. As we saw at the front media tab, it did have a small display for our navigation, but this is where you'll be able to access your directions, the map. If you want to go to home or work, you can save addresses in here. It will have emergency information and other information in here as well. Now we go into the center app. This is your Uconnect apps, and overall this is a Uconnect system. So this will carry over all of the Uconnect features. For example, the projection manager, Wi-Fi hotspot, the SOS if needed, the assist, activated services, vehicle user guide, and more. Now if we go into phone, this is where you can connect a phone and you can play your media through here. Again, this is compatible with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You'll be able to pair it down at the bottom. Now we move over into settings. This is just going to be all of your normal settings. What I do like about this is that you will be able to adjust the theme of this. Now I have it on 2, but you can adjust it to really any theme that you'd like, and there is an abundance of options in here that will completely switch up the actual display. And you can customize it to your own liking. Now once you're finished setting up your display and setting up all of your normal settings, you can come right back to the media screen and you will be all set to go. Now as far as install is concerned, I'm going to give this a very easy 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Like I said, this is incredibly easy to install for a head unit. It is completely plug and play, and you're only going to need a couple of basic hand tools to get the job done. So speaking of that install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were an impact wrench with a 7mm socket and a soft pry tool. So taking out the head unit is actually relatively simple. All we have to do is remove this control piece here, and then we'll be able to remove a bezel and a couple of screws to remove it. So I'm going to take a soft pry tool and remove our control unit at the front. Just give it a good pull. It's held in by a couple of clips. And then we're going to have 2 plugs on the back. One's going to be for our control unit, for our climate control. And then one's going to be for our ignition. And we can put this to the side. Next, we're going to remove the 2 screws down at the bottom that's holding on this outer bezel. I'm going to use a 7mm socket to remove them. Then we can use that same soft pry tool and just lift up on this bezel and pull back. Now we can remove the 4 screws that are holding on the head unit itself. I'm going to take that same 7mm socket and remove them on each corner. So once they're removed, what we can do is move the head unit forward, and we can disconnect the wires at the back. We're going to have 2 wires down at the bottom. We're going to have one up at the top, and then we're going to have our main control. We just have to lift up on this tab and pull back, and we've removed our head unit. So before we hop into the install, I did want to stop down and tell you guys a little bit more about this new system next to our factory system, show you some of the similarities and differences between the two. Now, starting off as just a brief overview of our factory system, this is going to have a smaller screen on the front. It will be a touchscreen display, but we're going to have multiple tactile buttons around the side, and we're going to have a couple of dials down at the bottom. Now, this is also going to retain all of the factory features, so this is great for stock applications. However, if you're looking for a more modernized display, this is definitely going to be right up your alley. So this is going to have a large 8.4 touchscreen display. It is going to be a colored display, so you're going to have a very modernized feel to the inside of the Jeep once this is installed, and it's going to retain all of those factory features that we see over on our factory head unit. This will have AM, FM radio with the Uconnect feature. This will retain all of the factory steering wheel controls, retain the backup camera, and this will also be able to use Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay, which is a step up from our factory system. Now, this is also going to have an alloy construction, very similar to our factory head unit. And what I do like about this head unit is that it comes with almost an identical bezel to your factory one. So you're really not switching up a lot of the factory aesthetics when it comes to the trim and when it comes to the overall unit itself. It's just going to be an upgrade as far as the screen and some of those features inside are concerned. So I personally really like the fact that this is not only just going to add a lot of modernized feels to the interior of the Wrangler, but it also is going to be pretty simple and very user-friendly, which you'll see in just a second. So what do you say we go ahead and install our new head unit? So what we can do at this point is plug in our factory connectors. I'm going to plug red to red and white to white. Then we can plug in our micro USB down at the bottom. And then we can plug in our main harness. Make sure that that goes down. And then we can push down that tab and it'll snap into place. Now at this point, we can line up our new head unit with the factory mounting location. And we can go ahead and install our factory screws to secure it down. I'm using that same 7mm socket in order to install them. Now after that's on there, we can take our new bezel and line that up with the factory mounting locations and give it a good press. Then we can take the 2 screws that secure the bottom and secure the bottom part of the bezel with our 7mm socket. Last but not least, we can take our control unit and plug those 2 connectors back in. And we can line this up and give this one a good press as well. After that, you can turn your Jeep on and you're going to be able to use your new head unit. So that is going to wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos and products just like this, and always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.